A few decades ago, you could walk up a flight of stairs without thinking twice. A short stroll to the store was nothing but a pleasant errand, and standing up from a chair required no effort at all. But now, something has changed. Your legs feel weaker than they once did, and movements that used to be automatic now demand more effort. Maybe you've noticed that getting up from a low chair is tougher, or that climbing the stairs leaves you a little more winded than before. You're not alone in this. Many people over 65 experience a gradual loss of muscle strength in their legs, and while it's a natural part of aging, it can also feel frustrating, even alarming at times. The legs, after all, are the foundation of mobility, and losing strength in them can shake confidence, independence, and the simple joys of movement. It's easy to chalk it up to the years passing by, to accept that this is just how things go as you get older. But here's the thing, while aging does bring changes, it doesn't mean you have to surrender to them. The strength in your legs may not be what it once was, but that doesn't mean you can't hold on to what remains and even rebuild some of what has been lost. The body is remarkably adaptable, even in its later years. Muscles can still be strengthened, endurance can still be built, and the simple act of standing tall and steady can be reclaimed with the right approach. The question isn't whether you can do something about it. It's whether you're ready to take small, steady steps toward making a change. At first, it might not even be clear when the weakness began. Maybe you caught yourself holding on to furniture more often when moving around the house. Perhaps you felt a little unsteady stepping off a curb or noticed that walking for long stretches left you more tired than before. The change is gradual, creeping in so slowly that it's barely noticeable until one day it can no longer be ignored. And when it finally becomes clear, it's easy to feel frustrated, even a little betrayed by a body that once carried you with ease. But this isn't a defeat. It's simply a new chapter that requires a different kind of care and attention. One of the reasons strength declines with age is a process called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass that typically starts around middle age and accelerates in later years. If muscles aren't actively used and challenged, they weaken over time, making everyday movements harder. It's not just about lifting weights or doing strenuous exercise, although those things can certainly help. It's also about keeping the body moving in a way that supports strength and function. The good news is that the body responds to movement at any age. Even small efforts, made consistently, can make a meaningful difference. But knowing that doesn't always make it easier to take the first step. Sometimes, the hardest part is just getting started. Doubts creep in. What if it's too late? What if the effort won't make a difference? And what if trying to regain strength feels like too much? These questions are understandable, but they don't have to stop progress before it even begins. Strength isn't built overnight, and no one is expecting you to suddenly transform into a marathon runner or a gym enthusiast. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress, no matter how slow or small. There's something deeply empowering about reclaiming control over your own movement. It might begin with something as simple as standing up from a chair a few extra times a day, practicing balance while brushing your teeth, or taking a few more steps than usual when walking through the house. These small, seemingly insignificant actions add up over time. They wake up the muscles, reminding them of their purpose, and bit by bit, they rebuild confidence in the legs that have carried you through so much of life. Beyond the physical effort, there's also a mental shift that needs to happen. It's easy to see weakness as a sign of inevitable decline, but it can also be viewed as a call to action, a reason to pay attention, to nurture the body, and to recognize that movement is still possible. The body, even in its later years, has an incredible ability to adapt. The challenge isn't in whether it can change, but rather in whether you're willing to meet it halfway. Of course, there will be days when motivation wavers, when the couch feels more inviting than a walk, and when the idea of making an effort seems exhausting. That's normal. No one is at their best every single day. But movement doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can be as simple as stretching your legs before getting out of bed, standing on your toes while waiting for the kettle to boil, or taking a few extra moments to balance before sitting down. Each of these moments is a quiet act of strength, a small but meaningful investment in keeping the body capable. And through it all, it's important to be patient. Strength doesn't return overnight, and progress isn't always immediate. But with each step, each effort, and each day that movement is prioritized, the body responds. Legs that once felt shaky can become steadier. Movements that seemed difficult can become easier. And little by little, a sense of confidence can return, not just in your legs, but in your ability to keep moving forward one step at a time. Now, let's talk about what happens when you begin to take action and how specific approaches can help you maintain and rebuild strength in a way that feels natural and achievable. Rebuilding strength in your legs isn't about suddenly leaping into an intense exercise routine or pushing your body beyond its limits. It's about understanding where you are right now and working with what you have. The most important thing is consistency, small, steady efforts that add up over time. The good news is that you don't need a gym, expensive equipment, or complicated routines to start regaining control over your legs. You just need patience, persistence, and a willingness to move a little more than you did yesterday. One of the simplest yet most effective things you can do is focus on standing up and sitting down. It may sound too easy to make a difference, but this basic movement is one of the best ways to keep your leg muscles engaged. Try sitting in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Lean forward slightly, press through your legs, and stand up, then slowly lower yourself back down. If it feels difficult, use your arms for support, but try to rely on your legs as much as possible. Doing this a few times a day strengthens the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, the major muscles that help you stand, walk, and maintain balance. Over time, you may find that you can stand up with less effort, and eventually, you might not need your hands at all. Walking is another fundamental movement that plays a huge role in maintaining leg strength. It doesn't have to be a long-distance walk. Just a few extra steps each day can make a difference. If you haven't been walking much, start small. Walk around your living room, then around the house, and eventually step outside for a short stroll. The key is to keep moving regularly, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time. If you're able, try to challenge yourself by walking on different surfaces, like grass or gravel, to engage your balance and coordination. Balance exercises are also incredibly valuable when it comes to keeping your legs strong and steady. A simple yet powerful exercise is standing on one leg for a few seconds at a time while holding on to a sturdy surface for support. This small action forces your muscles to work harder to maintain stability. Over time, as your strength and confidence grow, you may find yourself holding the position for longer without needing to grab onto anything. Strengthening your balance isn't just about preventing falls. It's about reinforcing the connection between your brain and muscles, keeping you steady and secure in every movement. Another helpful exercise is leg lifts. While sitting in a chair, straighten one leg and hold it up for a few seconds before lowering it slowly. Repeat this movement on both sides, aiming for several repetitions each day. It might seem simple, but lifting your legs in this way engages your thigh muscles and keeps them active, preventing further weakening. Stretching is just as important as strengthening. Muscles that aren't used regularly can become stiff, making movement even harder. Gentle stretches can help keep your legs flexible and ready to move. One easy stretch is a seated hamstring stretch. Sit at the edge of a chair, extend one leg straight, and gently lean forward until you feel a stretch in the back of your leg. Hold for a few seconds, then switch sides. This small habit can prevent tightness and discomfort while improving your ability to walk and stand with ease. It's also worth paying attention to your feet and ankles. The muscles in your lower legs play a huge role in stability, And if they weaken, it becomes harder to lift your feet properly when walking. One simple way to keep them engaged is to practice toe and heel raises. Stand near a counter for support. Lift your heels so that you're on your toes, then lower back down. Next, lift your toes while keeping your heels on the ground. This helps strengthen the muscles that control foot movement and can reduce the risk of shuffling or stumbling. As important as physical movement is, there's another key factor in maintaining strength: nutrition. Muscles need fuel to function, and if they don't get the right nutrients, they struggle to repair and rebuild. Protein is essential for muscle maintenance, so it's worth making sure you're getting enough in your diet. Foods like eggs, fish, chicken, beans, and dairy products provide the building blocks your muscles need to stay strong. Staying hydrated is just as crucial. Dehydration can lead to muscle cramping and fatigue, making it even harder to stay active. But perhaps the most important thing in this journey is to listen to your body. Some days, your legs might feel stronger than others. Some days, you might feel like doing a little more, while on others, you may need to take it easy. That's perfectly okay. The goal isn't to push yourself to exhaustion. It's to stay consistent in moving your body in ways that support strength and function. There's also the mental side of things. It can be discouraging to notice changes in your body that you didn't ask for, and at times, it might feel like too much effort to fight against them. But every effort you make, no matter how small, is a step toward maintaining independence and confidence in your movement. The key is to shift the focus away from what's been lost and instead celebrate what remains and what can still be improved. Aging is not about giving up the things you love. It's about adapting to new ways of doing them. Maybe long hikes have turned into shorter walks, or dancing for hours has become a few minutes of swaying to music in your living room. That doesn't mean the joy of movement is gone. It simply takes a different shape. Strength is not about lifting the heaviest weights or running the fastest. It's about the ability to move freely, to stand confidently, and to trust your body to support you in daily life. And if there's one thing to remember, it's this: it is never too late to start. Whether you begin today, tomorrow, or next week, any movement is better than none. Your legs have carried you through years of experiences, moments, and memories. They've been strong for you before, and with a little care and attention, they can continue to support you in the years to come. Now, let's look at the long-term benefits of keeping your legs strong and how simple habits can help you stay active and independent for as long as possible. When you start making an effort to strengthen your legs, something remarkable begins to happen, not just in your muscles, but in your entire outlook on movement. At first, progress might feel slow. Maybe standing up from a chair still feels like work, or your legs feel tired after a short walk. But over time, small improvements start to add up. A little more stability when stepping off a curb, a bit more ease in climbing the stairs, the confidence to reach for something without worrying about losing balance. These seemingly small victories are what make the journey worthwhile. Strength in your legs isn't just about walking farther or standing up more easily. It's about independence, the ability to move freely, to get up when you want to walk where you need to go without hesitation. It's about keeping the joy of movement alive, whether that means strolling through a park, playing with grandchildren, or simply feeling steady on your feet. Weak legs can make the world feel smaller, limiting where you go and what you do. But with consistent effort, that sense of limitation can be pushed back, giving you the freedom to keep doing the things you love. One of the biggest concerns for many older adults is the risk of falling. A fall can shake confidence and, in some cases, lead to injury. But keeping your legs strong is one of the best ways to reduce that risk. When your muscles are active and engaged, they support your balance, allowing you to react more quickly if you trip or stumble. And when your legs are strong, you're less likely to hesitate when stepping onto an uneven surface or reaching for something on a high shelf. A steady body leads to a steady mind. Knowing you can trust your legs gives you a sense of security that affects every aspect of daily life. It's easy to think that slowing down is just part of getting older, and in some ways that's true. But slowing down doesn't mean stopping. The body is designed to move, and as long as you keep using it, it will continue to serve you well. Even those who have lived decades without much physical activity can still build strength with regular effort. There are countless stories of people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s who started moving more and felt their bodies respond in ways they never expected. The human body is resilient, and as long as you treat it with care, it will continue to work with you. But keeping your legs strong isn't just about physical exercises. It's also about maintaining an active lifestyle. That doesn't mean you need to start running marathons or spending hours at the gym. It means finding ways to stay engaged with movement in your daily life. Walking to the mailbox instead of driving. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator when you can. Standing up to stretch during television commercials. Even dancing in the kitchen while cooking dinner. These little moments of activity add up, keeping your legs strong without feeling like a workout. There's also the importance of staying social, moving with others, whether it's joining a walking group, taking a gentle exercise class, or simply strolling with a friend. Makes staying active feel less like a task and more like an enjoyable part of life. Social activity can be just as important as physical activity when it comes to well-being. It keeps the mind engaged, the spirit uplifted, and the motivation to keep moving alive. Of course, setbacks will happen. There will be days when your legs feel stiff or tired, when the thought of getting up and moving seems like too much effort. That's normal. The key is to keep going despite those days. Rest when needed, but don't stop entirely. The body thrives on routine, and the more you stay consistent, the easier movement becomes. Another thing to remember is that while building strength is important, so is being kind to yourself. It's easy to compare your current abilities to what you could do years ago. Maybe you used to walk faster, climb stairs without thinking, or move in ways that now feel more challenging. But strength isn't about competing with your younger self. It's about making the most of where you are today. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. The most rewarding part of all of this isn't just the physical improvements. It's the confidence that comes with them. Knowing that you can rely on your legs to support you, that you can move with greater ease and less hesitation, that you can keep doing the things that bring you joy. That's what makes the effort worthwhile. So keep moving, keep standing tall, keep taking those steps, no matter how small they may seem. Your legs have carried you through so much already, and with a little care and effort, they'll keep carrying you forward for years to come. If there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that your legs are still capable of strength, movement, and stability. Yes, aging brings changes, and yes, muscles naturally weaken over time, but that doesn't mean you have to accept it without a fight. Every small effort you make adds up, whether it's standing up from a chair a few extra times, walking a little farther each day, or simply staying aware of how you move. Strength isn't just about muscles. It's about maintaining your freedom, your independence, and your confidence in your own body. And listen, I know it's easy to get discouraged. It's frustrating to notice changes, to feel like things that were once easy now take more effort. But that's life, isn't it? It changes, we adjust, and we keep moving forward. I mean, if we all stopped doing things just because they got a little harder, where would we be? Imagine if we gave up learning new things just because our brains didn't pick them up as quickly. Or if we stopped enjoying music just because our ears weren't as sharp as they once were. No, we adapt. We find new ways to keep going, because that's what makes life worth living. So if today is the day you start moving more, then fantastic. If you've already been working on your leg strength and this was just a little extra motivation, even better. And if you're just here listening, thinking about maybe giving it a shot tomorrow, well, that's okay too. Just don't wait too long, because every day you move is a day you're investing in yourself. Now, before we wrap this up, let me just remind you, if you found this helpful, if you enjoyed listening or learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way, you'll always be in the loop when new content comes out. We're all in this together, figuring out how to make the most of every stage of life. And I'd love for you to be part of that journey. Take care of yourself, keep moving, and have a wonderful day. And hey, if you catch yourself dancing in the kitchen later or standing up from the couch just a little stronger than yesterday, know that you're on the right path. See you next time